Hi, my name's Justin Latimer, and I'm going to show you a battle replay from Medieval Total War. This time it will be the Moors versus the Tims. May 9th, 2013. Now you might think that playing as the Timurids, the most powerful faction in the game, assures you a victory. You would be wrong. I have quite a few videos where I fought against the Timurids. I am glad to say that this time, though, the opponent did not spam elephants. So here we are, I'm playing as the Moors. The battle map is Scorpion's Paradise. And let me show you my army. I have 2 units of Desert Archers. And 2 units of Peasant Crossbowmen. Peasant Crossbowmen are sort of a surprise for the Moors, because they actually carry an arbalist, and this gives them a lot of damage, about the same as a musket. They also have about the same range as a musket. Now, though Pavis crossbowmen have more defense than these guys have the same attack, and they also have slightly faster firing animations. So, they're able to fire more arrows more quickly. Now, let's take a look at well, I'm not done showing off my army. I've also brought 2 units of urban militia. And I brought 2 units of dismounted Arab cavalry for my spears. I brought an additional 2 units of Lamtuma spearmen. Lamtuma spearmen are also sort of a surprise amongst the Moors. They're a very offensive spear. And the reason why I brought them is because of that. The reason why I brought the dismounted Arab cavalry is because, unlike the Lamtuma, they have a lot of defense, due to the fact they're wearing armor. My cavalry is composed of 2 units of Christian Guard and my general's bodyguard. Which has advanced armor. This is an upgraded armor for the general's bodyguard. I made the battle sunset. As you can see, it's very beautiful. It suits my faction colors very well. I've also brought 2 units of camel gunners. I'm redeploying my troops. I see that my opponent has brought elephants, and of course he's the Timurids. I can't be too cautious. I'm going to advance up to this hill. So here's some elephants. These are the gun elephants. Guys in the Howdah box on top have arquebuses. Here are some cannon elephant. They are attacking my forces right now. This general is stationed in this unit right here. His infantry is rather lackluster. He's brought some town militia. He has some dismounted heavy lancers over here. Theirs are a lot better. And some Nafatoon. His army's really rather small. It's made up of very expensive, smaller units. My camel gunners have a lot of range with their Giselle rifles. So, from this vantage point, they can fire on the entire enemy army. They can hit anything that's down there. Soon, my Desert Archers and my Peasant Crossbowmen will also be in place and ready to fire upon the enemy. And here they come, ready to contribute more to the vicious onslaught of missiles that I shall soon have. My camel gunners are able to fire over my infantry. If you have to stack missiles together, this is a good way to do it. If you combine ranged cavalry with foot missiles, you're able to get the foot archers and muskets and crossbows to fire with these guys firing overhead without shooting your own men. And they're actually able to point their guns at the enemy and shoot, instead of pointing straight up in the air and hoping the bullets land amongst the enemy.
Our men are under attack. We must act now.
As you can see, a lot of my men are getting tossed around by the cannon. It's very nasty, but it's not too bad that I can't withstand it. I'm marching my infantry closer. He's pulling his men back towards the hill more. I still have a better hill. My camel gunners are able to cover the advance for my troops too. So that's useful. My army is much more diverse than his. My archers can fire flame arrows. This will disturb the enemy elephants. They're also able to do it over long range, which is very useful. And the desert archers are quite cheap, very useful for the Moors and the Egyptians. They have good stamina as well, and they're very hard to tire out. Meanwhile, the peasant crossbowmen do not have the same stamina, but they do have a penetration against armor, which is very useful. My opponent is now advancing his elephants, confident in the belief that he can win this battle. I'm rushing up my Lamtuma spearmen, who are complete nutjobs and not afraid of anything. I'm also advancing my Christian Guard to help. Lamtuma spearmen have good morale and good stamina. Christian Guard also have good morale, and I believe good stamina as well. This is a bad day for the elephants. A lot of them are going to end up getting killed. These town militia do not have any chance against my infantry. I'm using most of my force against the enemy right now. Due to the nature of the army he is invested in, I really have little choice but to use my entire force against it. This unit of elephants is run amok though. He still has control of this unit, but that might not be for long. I can retreat to this hill and counterattack from there.
The enemy are badly bloodied.
The other unit of elephants is now run amok. And the general has just been killed. He still has control of these Nefertun, but not anymore. And the battle is now pretty much over. A lot of chaos has ensued. It's been pretty nuts, but the battle's really pretty much over. Everything has routed except for this unit of elephant artillery back here. But I'll get to that. I'm fighting the elephants that have run amok. I'm trying to kill them. I don't want them to disturb my army any more than they have to. Here is my brave captain. I'm going to rush up my camel gunners to outflank the enemy. I'm now able to concentrate my entire force on this unit. Elephants have an internal rage counter. Every time they get shot, every time they get injured, every time they get spooked, it drives them closer to being a monk. So it probably won't be long until this unit falls. Driving the elephants amok will be enough to win, because once they're amok, the enemy no longer controls them. As you can see, a lot of the enemy have routed. They're all over the place right now. The elephants are attacking my camels. I'm able to withdraw one of the units of camels, and also the second. And I can send up my urban militia almost as a sacrifice. But if I send up enough infantry, I will be able to take down the elephants. And there we are. They are now routing.
Victory is ours, but only by a sword's edge.
So it's not exactly a great victory. I lost a lot of men to win, but I did win. I deployed 811 men against 259. Men lost, I lost 441. My opponent lost 179. I have 370 men remaining. My opponent has 80 men remaining. Enemies killed. I killed 123 and captured 16. My opponent killed 459 and captured 55. Casualties inflicted, not very many. Mostly for the camel gunners. The camel gunners took down 38 and 36. And they took relatively few casualties for this battle as well, 22 and 28. The rest of my army suffered pretty intensely, I'm afraid. Missiles did competently with 10 for the desert archers and 11 for the peasant crossbowmen. The flaw with the enemy's strategy is he relied on too many elite units, too many expensive elite units. And particularly the elephants. Elephants are very skittish. His army, the infantry, was composed of mostly town militia with one good unit of dismounted heavy lancers. But I actually had swords with my army as well, so my swords would have been really good against just spears. And I had good spears as well. His cavalry was non-existent, unless you count elephants. And he did not bring missile troops except for the Nafatoon. Nafatoon have very short range. They're a very special force, very special unit. And they're also very small. So really, although I stated that this opponent did not elephant spam, he very nearly did. But basically the only thing he had going for him in this army was his elephants. It was much too small to win with anything else. And you can see that if you are clever about it, you can defeat elephants with a regular army. And one of the things a lot of people don't like about the Moors is the Moors have a lot of very lightly armored soldiers. Like these peasant crossbowmen are not particularly well armored. The desert archers are not particularly well armored. In fact, even my good spears, my lamb tomb of spearmen, are not particularly well armored. However, they do have a lot of attack to make up for it. The dismounted Arab cavalry are well armored, and the Christian guard are also well armored. The urban militia, the swordsmen, they're pretty well armored, and you can also get dismounted Christian guard, which are much better armored. The camel gunners are, of course, not very well armored, but they do have guns, and that more than makes up for it. So, thank you very much for watching. Good game to my opponent, Varangian Afro. I'll have more videos for you soon. Bye.